Good morning. It is October 17th, 2023, and it actually feels like fall at long last. Last Taco Tuesday, I was commiserating with my presenters about how hot it was, but now it really feels like autumn here in Wisconsin. So I'm thrilled to be moving into that season, my favorite time of year. Um, so we have a Taco Tuesday, as is our habit here on every other Tuesday at WiLS. So welcome. Thank you for joining us. We've got a full slate of presenters today from four of our vendor partners here at WiLS, and so I'm excited to introduce them. But let's get going. Enough of me. I'd like to introduce you to Chris Heinz, Joshua Martinez, and Megan. I hope it's Megan. Maybe it's Megan Johnson joining us from Britannica. I'm going to stop sharing my screen so that Chris can take over screen share, and we'll listen to what they have for us.
Thank you, Jeff. Bear with me one second. Let me find the right button here to share. So thank you everyone for joining. My name is Chris Heinz. I'm an education consultant with Britannica Education. I will let Josh and Megan introduce themselves as well.
Okay, my name is Joshua Martinez. I am an account manager with Britannica Education, handling all of your accounts that subscribe with us.
Hi, everyone. My name is Megan. You did have it right, Jeff. I am Britannica's community liaison. So you will have either heard from me at some point or will be hearing from me at some point, as I like to connect with all of our current clients and just figuring out how they are using our products.
Awesome. Well, thank you, everyone. I know we have a very tight timeline here, so I will go through this really quickly and let you know kind of what's new at Britannica. So just one short plug for Britannica School. You all have access to Britannica School through Badger Link. So again, very little has changed at Britannica School. We have updated our home pages for the elementary and middle school levels. What we've done is we've made the search bar far more prominent. We've made it a little bit more optimized for scrolling and for use on smart devices, tablets, and phones. So made it a little bit more user-friendly. However, the guts of Britannica School have remained the same. So all the article tools, accessibility, research tools, they are all there as they have been in the past. We've just tried to make the interface a little bit more engaging. We have added a new level, and this is separate from the Badger Link subscription. So this is our Britannica School Early Elementary. It's a new level of Britannica School. It's really designed to support pre-K through 2 early learners. The lexile range of the articles are much lower. There's age-appropriate images and videos. And like I said, it is separate from the Badger Link subscription, so I will do a very quick demo of what that looks like. I'll also show you Britannica ImageQuest, which has about 3.5 million rights cleared images and videos. We have a new feature of highlighted galleries to really find the best of the best images for educational use, as well as we've added video content to Britannica ImageQuest and made it a little bit more user-friendly, updated the interface to make it look a little bit more modern as well. And then finally, I'll show you Britannica ImageQuest Junior. So in response to feedback we received from folks in the field that images that folks found from our partner collections and ImageQuest may not always be the right images for students in the younger grade levels. We created ImageQuest Junior to make sure that the interface is a little bit simpler, there's less text, it's a little bit more straightforward, but all of the images are also hand curated to make sure that this is a safe, grade appropriate environment for students as well. So without further ado, let me jump into first Britannica School, Early Elementary. So with your Badger Link subscription, you have access to elementary, middle, and high school. As I mentioned, Early Elementary would be a separate subscription. Again, the interface is designed to be user-friendly for younger learners. We have it laid out very simply here. We do have a search at the top. We haven't made it super prominent because we know that kids in those early grades are less likely to be typing their searches in, and they're more likely to be browsing the content that they see on the screen. However, you can click and it will open up a search bar so that you can search the content within the early elementary level. All the icons here, you can see this little sound icon.
Animals.
If I click on it, I get a description of what that particular section topic is. If I click here, it takes us into places. We can take a look at different categories here. So we have buildings, continents, countries, natural places, US states. You can see everything here is designed with younger learners in mind. Let me just go ahead and click on buildings. And then I can look at some different types of buildings here: hospital, aquarium, airport. If I click on here, this takes me into the article. So you can see the article is laid out similar to what you see in Britannica School. We have all the same functionality. We have the read aloud function here.
A hospital is a place to get medical help.
And one quick difference from Britannica School, we have integrated a much more natural sounding read aloud voice as opposed to the kind of machine-like mechanical voice that we have in Britannica School. We also highlight every word individually as the voice reads along instead of highlighting the entire sentence. So we just want students who need that as an accommodation or who have not developed those reading skills yet. It can really help them understand the text a little bit better. You can print the article. We have a citation tool as well. So you can choose from 4 different styles of citation, and kids can copy and paste into a bibliography, really focusing on those early research skills and really getting students at those early grade levels to understand citation and proper attribution of the sources that they are using. You can adjust the font size up and down. We also have the translate feature, so you can choose up to 80 different languages and translate the content on the page. Also, if you highlight or hover over a sentence, it will highlight the sentence as well as pop up with the original text. So a nice accessibility tool for your ELL students as well. And if a student is unsure of what a word means or what a word sounds like, they can double click on the word in the article, get the English definition from Merriam-Webster, the Spanish translation, and then they can also click on this little sound icon
People
and get the word read aloud to them as well. Sorry, I thought I had a sneeze coming on there. It did not come. So I'm going to go ahead and continue with Britannica ImageQuest. So many of you may be familiar with ImageQuest as a product that we've offered through WiLS previously. However, this is an updated interface. You can see everything has been updated with new branding. We've added video content as well, and then gallery content. So for example, if I were to search butterfly, I may find a whole bunch of different images when I do a general search in Britannica ImageQuest. I might find images of butterflies, caterpillars, but I may also find images of, from Getty Images. They capture images of Michael Phelps swimming the butterfly. Not always, images that are let's just say your search casts a very wide net and captures a lot of images that may not necessarily be related to what you were actually looking for. So what we've done is we've organized galleries around popular search terms, and we've kind of highlighted some of the best images that are most representative of that particular search term. We've also done the same with our video content. So you can browse different video content here. Let's say I want to look at videos of amphibians, and I can see all these different videos of frogs and other amphibians here. The videos that we have are typically short. They're somewhere between 10 seconds to a minute long, typically don't have any sound. They play directly in the browser. You can also download the content to your device. And because all these images are rights cleared for non-commercial use, you can embed them in presentations and you can have students use them in presentations as well. You can also share via Google Classroom, Microsoft Teams. There's a citation tool here as well. Man, that sneeze, I thought it was coming back again and it didn't. So I apologize for my awkward pause there. Seeing that I am running out of time, I do want to show ImageQuest Junior very quickly. So again, this is curated for students at these younger grade levels. Hand curated images to make sure that we're getting images that are appropriate for the students that are browsing within this environment. And you can see they can explore. We have these little animated icons here if they want to learn about storms, they want to learn about gorillas. They can, browse these up here at the top. They can also browse hand curated galleries as well. So if students are looking for sports and recreation and they want to see images related to this, we have a whole gallery of hand curated images that students can browse. They click on an image, the image interface is much more simple than what we have in Britannica ImageQuest. We still have the same tools though. They can share this, they can download, they can cite, or they can print. They can also click on a heart, add this to their favorites. They can curate image galleries themselves and create those albums and share them with their teachers and their peers as well. So it does have a lot of really good functionality here. If I scroll down and click on this icon here, you can see all of the details, the copyright information, and then the keyword searches that led them to this as well. So those are our 3 products that I wanted to showcase today. We do have a couple minutes left. Josh, Megan, was there anything that you would like to add? Anything you'd like our partners here at WiLS to know?
Yeah, definitely. So if you're interested in any of those products, we do offer a 2-week trial. So you can, I believe, go through Jeff, and Jeff will let me know, and I will get you the information you need for that trial for any of the information or any of the products that you saw here. So go ahead and reach out to Jeff. He'll get that to me, and we will get you that free trial so you can check that out.
Awesome. Thanks, Josh. Megan, anything you wanted to add as well?
We are constantly making updates to these types of products, so we always want to keep you guys in the loop on what we are doing as well. So feel free as well, if you haven't already, follow us on our social media accounts. We are going to be posting actually a lot more recently on a lot of the updates that we're making to these products that they mentioned, some others as well. And so if you'd like those accounts, feel free to message me as well, and I can send you the direct links for them.
Great. Well, thank you everyone for your time. Jeff, I will hand it back over to you with 1 minute left in our 15 minutes. And we will we'll get out of everyone's hair here. So thank you very much. Appreciate your time. And please be in touch.
Thank you so much, Chris, and the whole Britannica team for joining us today. I am excited to be able to kind of highlight the junior versions of a couple of these resources. I know Chris mentioned this, but for sure, I know that is a great example of Britannica being responsive to the requests of their customers. I mean, we heard those kinds of requests, and I can see that you have taken those on board and really responded. So that's super cool. And of course, everything you showed us is super cool, but I was struck by that as well. Thanks again, Britannica friends.
Thank you.
So let me share my screen again to get us set up for our next presenter. Joining us next from Springshare is Sarah. Sarah, are you ready to take over?
I am.
All right, I'm just going to stop sharing my screen and it'll be all yours.
Thank you. All right. Let's see here. I believe I hit the wrong button, but now we have captions enabled. Sorry about that. All right, let's share here. So good morning, everyone. My thanks to Jeff and the whole WiLS co-op team for inviting me, and to y'all for being here, of course, and whether that's in real time or watching the recording later on. So as Jeff said, my name is Sarah Probst, and I'm the consortium sales manager here at Springshare. Like many of my Springy colleagues, I am a librarian, and prior to joining the company, I actually worked for several library consortia here on the East Coast where I'm located. So my primary purpose is to support our relationships with organizations like WiLS and their members. So my email is up on the screen right now. Feel free to jot that down and reach out to me anytime you may have product questions or anything you're generally curious about regarding Springshare. In our short time together, I'll be talking about some of the really exciting new features we've rolled out and will be rolling out this year. If you were at my talk for Taco Tuesday in June, you'll be delighted to hear that most of the things I mentioned then are actually now available. All right, and let me just pop that off the screen. There we go. So one of the biggest things we've released this year is actually a complete overhaul of the LibGuides A-Z database. If you're not familiar with LibGuides or the A-Z database list, this handy part of LibGuides and LibGuides CMS, of course, provides a central repository for your patrons to browse, sort, search, and even share your library's research databases. It includes a whole host of librarian-loved features, including things like Best Bets, which allows you to highlight specific resources for each subject category you use, flags for databases like new, popular, and trials, and a whole lot of other things as well. Now, if you noticed in my background image, the new A-Z database page has a lot of look and feel changes. This update brings you an A-Z resource management tool that's easier to customize, easier to work with, and really gives you a completely fully refreshed public database page feel. So it includes a whole bunch of new features and functionality that we're really excited about. For example, we have new multi-filter searching. So this new search filters allows for multiple selections at once. So as a patron, for example, I could search for databases that are tagged with both, say, an English tag or an English subject as well as religion and theology subjects, which would allow me to drill down into specific research areas with a lot more simplicity. Subjects and search terms are also going to be displayed on screen now, so patrons always know exactly what they search for. As I just mentioned, the A to Z list already includes the ability to add popular, new, and trial flags, but the new A to Z list also allows you the option to set custom flags. We've seen people use ones for things like indicating full text status, and also things like sound and video. Speaking of customization, because we're all about that, LibGuides CMS subscribers can also add custom fields to their databases that display on their public pages. So you can add information about language options, coverage dates, allowed number of concurrent users, or really anything that you can think that your users may need to know or that you want them to know about the database. A very popular feature request from our customer base, nested subjects, finally available here for you to use. You can add subjects to your LibGuides and LibGuides CMS systems in a hierarchy now. So this means that, for example, you could have history as a parent subject, and its child subject could be medieval history, Asian history, African American history, things like that. It makes it a lot easier to manage your subjects. Now, the last thing I want to mention, although I could probably go on for much longer than my allotted time, the new A to Z list and its management page really show a peek at the future of LibGuides, which is one of the reasons we're excited that this came out. These pages are built on Bootstrap 5, giving them a modern look and feel, improving accessibility, and adding many non-HTML and CSS customization options. It's pretty nice, pretty slick. Now, LibWizard Interactive Tutorials are also something that we've been talking about for a while. For LibWizard, for those who are unfamiliar, is not Springshare's answer to Harry Potter, as great as that would be. It's a platform that combines library feedback and assessment functionality. So with LibWizard, you can create forms, gather more complex feedback with surveys, build self-paced and self-grading quizzes, and of course, create a couple different types of engaging tutorials. So you can see from the GIF on the screen, LibWizard tutorials, we really envision that it's going to change the way that you remotely interact with your patrons. The newest tutorial type, you can add content to slides and then overlay those with interactive components. So these types of interactions are going to include things like annotations and callouts. You'll be able to point to a specific area in your slide with an annotation or a callout, and then use the built-in rich text editor to add content. You can also add questions. So you can create one or more questions with options for multiple choice, text input, or numeric input that will appear at a time that you specify in your slide. You can also include simple widgets, such as videos in your slide. You'll just insert the HTML embed code for the media that you wish to display at the time you wish to display it. And then also hotspots. So these are small, you can add a small hotspot to highlight an area on your slide. Clicking on that hotspot will open up a tooltip, as you can see here right now, with additional annotations that you can add then. Now, interactive tutorials are still in development, but we're releasing some functionality incrementally. You can see here that the features we've released thus far and those that are still on our to-do list. However, considering that the last time I spoke with you all about this project, we had yet to release any of these features, we're making pretty fantastic strides. If you do a lot of tutorials at your library or are thinking about new ways to help your patrons or students learn when you can't be there in person, LibWizard is a great option for that. And as you can see, it's really getting better all the time. Now, LibCal, our Spaces interface, has gone through a number of iterations and added some new features this year too. LibCal is our all-in-one calendaring and reservation system. A base system includes 4 components that work together really seamlessly. Those are calendar and event management, space and seat reservation, which is primarily what I'll be talking about, one-on-one appointment scheduling, and building and department hours management. Now, LibCal is like probably one of my favorite things that we've created. We actually use it internally a lot. We use it for our training calendar. I use it for my own consortia webinar calendar, and I use it for one-on-one appointment scheduling. This thing is like seriously really awesome, and it saves me a lot of email and a lot of time. But I digress. The LibCal Spaces module got a really lovely makeover this summer. We introduced 2 new features for Spaces, the first of which is this search-based booking experience. So this mobile-friendly booking interface allows searching for available spaces and seats. Patrons can now search and find their favorite space either by name, or they can search by date and time. They can also further filter their search by things like capacity. So if they need a room for 20 people, they can search for that. They can also filter by category and by whether a space is accessible, has power outlets, and a couple other things as well. Now, this interface can be used in conjunction with our classic booking interface, or it can be used in place of that, whatever you as a library would prefer. All right, the other exciting thing is that each LibCal space now has designated URLs for displaying that space on a tablet. This is ideal for wall-mounted tablets outside of a room or stand-style displays. This type of functionality is going to allow patrons to view that space's availability from a distance with bright color-coordinated modes. So you can see here on the screen that, for instance, an available one in our system anyway displays as bright green. You can enable the ability for a patron to easily create a quick reservation using a barcode, or excuse me, a QR code that they can book the space with. And you can also enable the ability for patrons to check in and out of their reservation on this tablet interface as well. Now, I should mention that the tablet interface does not require a specific type of tablet. It's just a URL, so you can use whatever hardware you've already got or what may be able to best work within your budget. Now, we're actually already hard at work on our next Spaces integration too. Next up in the queue is a smart lock integration, so patrons can book, check in, and have their reserved space automatically unlock for the reservation, which is like pretty much magic. Now, very finally, the last new addition to Springyland that we'll be talking about today hasn't been released yet, but is actually going to be launched at the end of this month. This is the LibAnswers NPS module. So the LibAnswers NPS elevates your LibAnswers customer service platform by allowing you to gauge user satisfaction across your institution. You'll have the tools to create an unlimited number of customized surveys, distribute them to your patrons, and then basically watch your responses start rolling in. We have a number of informational webinars about the module that are still going on. We have ones left on October 19th and 25th, and you can register for those at calendar.springshare.com, which is on the screen. Is very easy to get to. Now, you're actually probably more familiar with NPS than you realize. If you've ever answered a question with a 0 to 10 rating scale, you've likely filled out an NPS style survey. The appeal here is that NPS is pretty standard and is pretty simple. Each response includes a rating plus any comments from an optional follow-up question. It's also going to provide actionable feedback so that you can do things like understand your dissatisfied patrons and make targeted improvements. Great. Also review positive comments so you can keep up all the great work that you're doing, because we all know that you're already doing a lot of great work. And you can also track your institution's NPS score over time for the long haul. So you can also use NPS in a variety of ways. It's not just a take this survey because you did this thing. You can gauge the experience of patrons who visit your website, so get feedback on how they're navigating your website. You could use the LibCal integration to follow up with folks who attend library events, so get feedback on your programming, also awesome. And you can also send an NPS email campaign to participants for things like your summer breeding programs as well, and get feedback that way. So there are a number of different ways that you can use this to get information. Now, I myself have left a little bit of time for questions. If you have any, I will be happy to answer them. Otherwise, I will happily yield my time back to Jeff and the rest of my vendor colleagues here. As always, I am happy to support y'all. It is a pleasure to be working with WiLS and to be working with you.
Well, Sarah, we feel the same way. We're delighted to be partners with Springshare and longtime partners with Springshare. And I think you and I have been working really well in the time since you've kind of started working there. So I'm really happy with how that's going as well.
Yes.
I don't see any questions coming in yet, but I will also say if anyone's watching the recording or you just think of something later, feel free. Of course, you can reach out directly to Sarah. She won't mind that a bit, but you can also reach out to us here at WiLS. We can put you in touch with the right person as well. So thanks again, Sarah. Oh, and awesome work on the developments since the last time we talked. We will look forward to seeing what's new the next time I strong arm you into doing Taco Tuesday.
I'll look forward to it. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks again for joining us. All right, let me share my screen one more time to get us set up for our next presenter. All right, speaking of long-time vendor partnerships, we're joined next by Marty, who's going to be talking to us about PebbleGo from Capstone. Marty, are you ready to take the reins?
Jeff, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. And happy Taco Tuesday. Welcome back. Greetings to all the WiLS members. Thanks for joining us today. And we'll give you an update today. I'm Marty Dombicon. I'm the Wisconsin representative for Capstone and PebbleGo. So if you have any questions, please reach out to WiLS directly or to us directly. Either way, you're going to get the answers that you need. We hope we can get you what you want and take care of you in a quick fashion. So let me just do the screen share. We'll get going here, and let me get the play going. There we go. Yes, here we are. So we'll just give you a short update on what's new from Capstone. We've been very busy with new content and new functionality. There's a lot of things to share for this school year, and there's quite a bit of things. I'm going to kind of give you a quick overview today of some of those updates for our elementary, even K through 8 PebbleGo In PebbleGo Next, I'm going to spotlight 3 of our features, which are really nice components that are built into the PebbleGo portal and the functionality, the navigation. Couple of expansion options, which would be Connect and Create. And then I'll finish up with some of our free resources that we provide from the publisher, from Capstone. And those are available to you anywhere you are. Those are no charge, and you can share them with your community, with any staff, parents, caretakers, anybody who's working with the students can have access to these free resources that you can share out with them. Okay, so here's the updated PebbleGo Hub. In the past, for those who've had PebbleGo for years, thank you, we really appreciate that. You may have noticed now we've kind of migrated everything into one central platform, which is PebbleGo.com. And that's where you'll find all of your content. Everything from PebbleGo, everything from PebbleGo Next, which goes into the higher levels, the higher grade levels, and all of your ebooks. In the past, there was a mycapstonelibrary.com that required a separate login. That is no longer the case. Everything comes straight through PebbleGo as a single sign-on solution for your students, and all of your content that you may have acquired over the years, Capstone ebooks, will appear in this portal under the green ebooks tab. So this is a really nice central way to really put together everything that you have. So anyone who has subscriptions to the PebbleGo, which would be the K2, the PebbleGo Next would be the purple, that would be the grades 3 and up, and then the ebooks would be any grades. So that could be anything that your school has added over collection development over time that will appear for all of your ebooks. So you get all of your digital content from Capstone coming into one central hub. It's really nice that they've programmed it this way now. So some of the navigation features and some of the basically the tools that you're probably familiar with. You have the easy navigation. The youngest learners can very much follow those breadcrumbs and get to what they're looking for. The guided keyword searching, very big box, oval right on the top. Large visual search, and then the information is easy. It's made to be easy to find. It's really geared for your youngest researchers to really acquire those early research skills in a very safe environment where they can pursue their interests and really get a lot of very captivating content that comes back their way. One of the main pluses of Capstone, and we've done this from the start, is that the read aloud audio are professionally done. These are not text to speech programs. These are not robotic AIs. These are actual professional readers that work with Capstone and give that expressive, those really fantastic models of fluency for all of the words, all of the sentences. Everything's very, very fluent and gives you those really nice audio supports for any students that would like that at any time, for ESL, for special ed, for dual language, for anything where you want that audio support to really encourage their learning and support their learning. Then they have the extended learning opportunities. The video and the audio clips are available for most of the articles. And those are some things that they're all copyrighted through Capstone, so you'll have access to everything, and you can share these out. You can use them however you like, and they can be used at home. That's a really nice feature with Capstone. You have subscription to all of the content. These are not third-party connections. These are Capstone content, so you get it all. You can have your students do their proper citations. That gives you that option right on the page, right as part of the navigation screen. And then students can also share what they know. So if you're looking for some extension activities, maybe some things that are offline that you can print out, and then the students can work on that at a time where they're maybe not on a computer. But it really gives you a lot of good media, multimedia, and print materials that really accompany all of the articles that are in PebbleGo. So all of the articles also, they will be available universally. That is, they'll work on any device that has internet connection. If you're not on the internet, then you would go with one of the print options, but any student, any device, any place they are, whether they're in school, whether they're at home, whether at wherever where they're working on PebbleGo and have that access to your school's account, you can sign in with your single sign-on and have full access to all the Capstone content that you're subscribed to. So we really have a lot of features that are built in that really make that content accessible to students of all abilities and all technologies. You've got a lot of different compatibilities that really are tied in very, very nicely. The Spanish and English will have a toggle right on the top. You can just click on the Espanol button and it'll put you right into the Spanish equivalent. That is for the K2, the PebbleGo. So it's for the youngest learners. Now, we've got a lot of things here for the remote access, using the smartphone, using the iPad, using a Chromebook, using a laptop, using a desktop. Any of those will all work, no matter which device the student is working on. You'll have that full access, and that navigation will be very similar in look and feel, no matter which device they're on. One more thing that they've really updated this year are the administrative tools. You have a lot of things now that will give you more of a real-time look at the student usage in your building, or if you're a district administrator, you can look at all of the buildings and have access to each of them. So you can see which articles, which topics, which things are being used more, and which ones maybe you can help promote a little bit more at the local level to really get the students engaged across the board. You have easy connection into your favorite LMS, also Google Classroom. So because it's coming from Capstone, you have our copyright built into the URL, into that authenticated link. So once you're already signed in through your SSO, you have access to share that out as much as you please. So you've got all of that as part of your subscription. And on request, we have a fantastic professional development team. So if you ever want a refresher for your district, or just a quick Q&A with one of our customer success specialists, we've got some really great support, and that's a free service. So just let us know when we can help you. And for instance, you might have a lot of new staff that have come into the district and you would like them to be familiar with PebbleGo as a district resource. That's great. Just reach out to us and we can get you scheduled in for a nice session with our customer success. So one of the really nice things about Capstone is that they keep adding more content. It's fantastic because your subscription automatically expands and supersizes even just as an active subscriber. You don't have to add more content to really get more content. So just since last fall, we've added 172 new PebbleGo articles in English and in Spanish, and 54 new PebbleGo and PebbleGo Next articles. So those automatically come to the modules that you subscribe to. It automatically gets bigger and bigger each year. And they're updating all of the previous ones. If any new information has changed, you're going to get the current info as reflected in real time for your subscription. It automatically updates. You'll have 27 new articles in English and Spanish, and 72 new articles in PebbleGo Next that were added this spring. For fall, this is really exciting because the health module is now for grades 3 and up. This is a big one. There's a lot here. So if you don't have PebbleGo Next, I would recommend taking a look at PebbleGo Next as an option to expand on your PebbleGo original, and you can contact WiLS to add that to your existing subscription. They'll be happy to do that. The other part of PebbleGo Next is they've completely revamped and relaunched the Indigenous Peoples History module. All of those articles have been fully edited and reviewed and relaunched now with a very current lens and some really nice expertise. Again, Capstone has some fantastic experts who are really great in their fields of study, who actually, they know, they live the materials, they bring the authenticity to the content that we have. And they've also launched 50 more articles in English and Spanish, plus 50 more new PebbleGo Next articles. So that's a lot of new content that automatically comes to your subscription. The majority of you will be familiar with the PebbleGo Bronze. This is the original early elementary K2, K3 subscription. And that includes animals, science, biographies, social studies, and health for the lower level. And now we have PebbleGo Next that includes Next Health for the higher levels. And this goes grades 3 through 5 and up. We do have quite a few Wisconsin middle schools who subscribe to the PebbleGo Next, which is a really nice resource because it's super high interest, lots of great contemporary information, biographies, and a lot of things that really hit the standards, but it's at a little lower reading level. So it'll give you that good accessibility for middle school students that might be at a couple grades lower and really build their knowledge, build their academic knowledge, build on their interests. There's a lot of good things here. So biographies, health, Indigenous peoples history, science, social studies, and the states. So we have a lower level states and a higher level states now. These are all part of your subscription if you have PebbleGo Next. All you have to do is level up to silver or gold if you're currently at the bronze, and then you'll have Next for your school and your district. And then we have PebbleGo Spanish, which would be the total Spanish equivalent of the PebbleGo. We do not have it for Next just yet, but for Spanish, for the K2, we definitely have everything, 100%. And you can easily toggle between English and Spanish. Great resource for bilingual dual language instruction. A lot of good stuff here. Okay, now I'll spotlight 3 key features, and we'll keep things moving along here. The first one, and I mentioned this earlier, is the green eBooks tab. This is part of the PebbleGo.com website. So any of your collection development over time will appear here. Anything Capstone that you've purchased in the past, present, and future in ebook format is going to populate in that green eBooks tab. There's no extra sign-on required. And what's really powerful is you have unlimited users. These are not checkouts. These are not waiting lists. You don't have to put a hold on any of the content. You can have all of your students looking at the same books, the same research topics, anything you need at the same time. So it's really, really a powerful resource. And again, it's coming straight from Capstone. So it's all the Capstone vetted content, and everything is kept very current. You also have the copy link feature. This is allowing you that if you just cut and paste into Canvas, Seesaw, Google Classroom, anything else that you're using, you can create your own customized lists and share them out with your class, share them out with your school, share them out with your staff, share them with parents. You can use it any ways you like. That's what's really nice. Once you've already signed on, yet single sign on to PebbleGo, it opens up the realm of possibilities here. So you get all of that connection in with all of your EdTech tools. Third dropdown would be the spotlight feature, would be the purple dropdown box. And this is Connect, where it gives you a chance to search by Wisconsin state standards in science, social studies, and a bunch more topics, all of the other things. And that's called Capstone Connect. I can give you a lot more information about Connect. That would be for another topic, and maybe it's something that you'd want to contact Capstone if you want to find out more about that. And that helps you build out your digital library. We've got some really nice curriculum packages. Also, you can build your own customized library. So there's just a great collection of things that you can do with Capstone Connect, aligning to Wisconsin state standards. So let me know if there's more information you want about that, and I'll follow up. We have a nice starter pack through WiLS. $750 gets you 140 ebooks. It's a great deal. And then we have Create. So this is the safe makerspace for students to have extensions, more extensions, and kind of create their own body of work based on what they've researched in PebbleGo. Again, this is something you can ask WiLS to add to your subscription, or if you want more information on a demo, just let us know. Okay, I'll finish it up with the free resources. Make sure you bookmark the PebbleGo.com/resources. You can go here, and these are all of the free things that you can have full access to at any time and share out with anyone that you would like to share these resources with. So there's a lot of great stuff there. And I'll let you explore that on a future time, so you can take that back. and more free great services from Capstone. As a subscriber to PebbleGo, you can automatically earn Capstone rewards each subscription cycle. Let us know and get that code popped in, and you will automatically get rewards. Kind of like a frequent flyer club, you get rewards, and you can use those for free ebooks or library books, whatever you choose down the road. The only thing you can't use it for is the renewals. So make sure you work through WiLS on that, and then let us know if you have some questions later about your customized collections, and we can help you build with BOGO. That's been a super popular promotion. That's everything we have from Capstone, kind of in a nutshell. I'll put that up there just as a visual, and I know this is recorded, so you can go back to it. And there's my contact information. And I thank you for your time today, and I'll turn it back to Jeff. Thank you very much.
Marty, wow, so much new stuff. That is so cool. I love the kind of combined interface and the rejiggering of how some of the collections work, and like the relaunch of Indigenous Peoples History, I think is excellent. And October is a great time to highlight that. So thank you so much for sharing everything with us today.
Thank you, Jeff. We appreciate it. Thank you, WiLS.
All right, so we have one more here. I'm going to share my screen one more time just to get us set up. Now, we've heard from several longtime vendor partners here at WiLS, but I am very excited to be able to highlight somebody brand new. I mean, a brand new vendor partner. I don't even know if the ink is dry on our agreement yet. I'm excited to have Chris joining us from The Juice. Chris, are you ready to take over?
I think so, yeah, as long as you can hear me okay.
Yep, we can hear you. I'm going to stop sharing my video, and the show's all yours.
Cool, thanks so much. And thanks to WiLS and Sarah in particular for having us. We've had a lot of really great conversations, and yeah, super excited to be here. Can you see that okay?
Yeah, it looks good.
Okay, great, fantastic. So yeah, hi. I am Dr. Chris Slaughterhoff. I am the Pedagogy and Partnerships Advisor at The Juice Learning. The Juice is an interactive learning platform. We build tomorrow's strong readers and critical thinkers using today's news, but the way that we do this is both really ambitious and innovative, and I think it's going to be a departure from what you're used to seeing. So we have award-winning journalists and veteran educators like you watching, our library and media specialists. Our journalists and educators work side by side to write about the day's most interesting and educational events for readers in grades 5 through 12. As a result, the Juice is tailor-made for library media specialists, and I'm going to show you exactly what I mean. So we aim to accomplish 3 goals. The Juice can extend your students' knowledge of the world around them. It can build your students' multimedia information literacy skills, and it can increase your students' reading proficiency. And I know those are ambitious, but they are what we aim to do. We accomplish this by building within your students a daily reading routine. It works independently as well as in the library and in the classroom. So let's go through how it works. So our students who use the Juice start the day strong. By 6 a.m. on each academic day, so mostly weekdays, students receive an email early in the morning that says, your daily Juice is ready. They get a brief rundown of the day's news, as well as some of the fun highlights included in the day's issue. So then when students click the email, they're brought to the platform itself. So within each daily Juice, that's what we call it, the daily Juice, you might see here that it looks like a standard, I'm looking to the side because I have 2 monitors. You might see that it looks like a standard news like landing page, and that is intentional. We want all students from grades 5 and through 12 to be readers. And so within each daily Juice, they get a ton of great stuff. They get 5 current events articles. We write each of these 5 current events articles at 4 different grade levels. I'll get back to that in a second. When I say grade level, I mean reading level. So more on that in a moment. We will also get each day an infographic to boost visual media literacy. You get the fresh word of the day to boost vocab, a student opinion poll on a pertinent issue because we really value engaged students with the news. You also get a STEAM-focused video. Our video content's really cool. You get a quote of the day. One of the 5 articles is also part of a series called On the Bright Side. It's SEL friendly because we know, even though we want to build students' informational literacy using current events, we also know the news can be a bit depressing sometimes. At least one of the articles is definitely uplifting. And we also have the 5Z that they get every day, which is a word game. It looks a bit like Wordle, but it uses vocabulary words drawn from the articles themselves. So just like, you might have a New York Times crossword subscription, or, you might do the Wordle. We really want to build the idea that students can engage daily with the news, that this is informative, it is smart, it is cool. So what about the actual content itself? So as far as what's in these articles, we aim to be strictly informational. That is to say, informative, not persuasive. We try our very best to be totally neutral, to be global in our perspective, and definitely to be nonpartisan. To that end, we have no editorial page. All of our content is written and produced by our own educators and journalists. We want this to be the news and the current events content that our students really crave, without all of the other stuff like targeted ads and data mining and things like that, and editorialization, frankly. Since we report on news from around the world across all these different areas that you see here, we love working with library media specialists because you are so cross-curricular in focus and nature. So what makes the JUICE educational, though? You probably get by now the whole information literacy, current events angle, but why educational and why in the library? So 2 reasons mainly. First is that we aim to leave no student out of the conversation. That is an innately educational process, the way that we do that. And 2, we make students' reading experiences accountable without being burdensome. Oftentimes, platforms make students accountable, but they are burdensome, or they are burdensome without being accountable. So we aim to do both. So first, on those 2 points, how we include all students. So as you can see here, the features on the last screen, this is how they look when they manifest. If you remember earlier, I mentioned that we write each of our 5 articles at 4 different reading levels. Differentiation is not a feature, it's built into the mission here. Our team collaborates to write 4 versions of each of the 5 articles. So our lowest reading level is grade 5-6, and then 7 and 8, and then 9-10, and then 11 plus. Educators can adjust which version each student is reading as often as you deem necessary, even within the same classroom. In addition, each article can be instantly translated side by side. You can see that here, into the language of the student's choice. I believe there are over 40 of them. Speak French. The French looks quite good. Each article can be read aloud at an adjustable speed. You can slide, slower, faster, and it comes accompanied with text highlighting as well. Also, you see all the tier 2 and tier 3 vocabulary words are underlined. Clicking on them shows their definitions, their parts of speech, and they can hear them aloud. And they also get phonetic pronunciations of the words rather than those with diacritics that often confuse students further. As a longtime former English teacher, I can speak to the veracity of that. Now, one thing I didn't mention is this little orange here. This little orange is really cool. This is called Extra Juice, and it's one of my favorite features of the platform. So all of our articles are short, right? They're 250 to 280 words. This is to make them readable. This is to make sure students are engaged with it as soon as possible. And it's to make sure that they, keeps their interest. We try to make them dense, right? But because they are 250 to 280 words, you're not going to be able to fit the big complex issues into that space. So what we do is we offer Extra Juice. Extra Juice is a Q&A format. It's all the questions you wish your students would ask to give you context. This way, no one's left out of the conversation. And you can actually search our entire platform by Extra Juices if there's a particular topic in which students are interested. But we do this as often as possible to break down deep, complex topics, like Gaza, for instance. So now, what makes it accountable without being burdensome? So at the end of each article, you're going to get 2 things. You're going to get 1, a Wisconsin State Standards aligned comprehension question about the article. And 2, you're going to get an open-ended discussion or reflection question. Some teachers use the latter for writing prompts or discussion prompts just to extend the conversation. It's really up to the teacher, but The Wisconsin State Standards Aligned Comprehension question is pretty handy because over time, as students answer these comprehension questions, their results populate on the teacher dashboard. And what's cool about this is that you can then start using this data to tailor, target, drive all of your differentiated instruction. You can examine students' results, you can adjust their reading levels, you can go to our search page to browse our entire library, search by standard or infographic or excerpt, topic. It's really endless and it's very intuitive. And then you can actually assign articles that assess particular standards to particular students or an entire class. So you can create thematic units, standards-based units as well, or you can just ensure that you're catering to your students' subject matter interests for what they want to read. So the data-driven instruction idea is very, very straightforward. You can actually generate CSV reports with a single click. It is meant to be intuitive and teacher-friendly, even if you are not tech native. The context for using this platform are pretty endless, but this is what that search looks like. So as you search for an article, let's say ocean, you see up here, right? You can search for ocean articles that assess a particular standard at this particular reading level, or you can search even further by category. You can click here to assign that article, and then you can assign it to, like I said, 1 student, 2 students, or all of your students. It's very, very versatile this way. As far as where this fits in to your instruction as a library media specialist, it's also very open-ended. We've seen really cool initiatives for summer reading, for instance, rather than focusing on one particular book. This builds and scaffolds information literacy skills over the summer, so your students come in with effectively an entire regimen of formative assessment, which is amazing. And it works in concert with fiction well. You can pair text with pair nonfiction text with fiction. You can use this as part of common reading time. I mean, I know that this is going to be up for some time on the WiLS site, so you can browse these examples yourselves, but we've actually had an almost endless amount of implementation considerations that have been really, really clever. So as I kind of come toward the end of my time here, I just want to reiterate, before I joined the Juice, I published K-12 information literacy research. That's what brought me here. I was a school district administrator, and I taught high school English for 12 years. And as I started to see when I was teaching how, as students spent more time online, parents struggled to adjust, educators of all kinds, including library media specialists. And every single back to school night, one parent would ask me the same question: how can I get my kids to read more on their own? And I'd say, give them access to what they want to read. And then the parents would say, what if you have no idea what your kids want to read? And I would say, start with the news. Students innately want to know what's going on in the world around them. And I bring this up because the Juice is what students like to read. It's what they want to read. You as library media specialists know better than anybody what we're up against in the struggle to build information literacy. And as fact becomes harder to discern from fiction for a lot of our students, as periodicals are paywalled, as students are only left with 2 options: cable news and social media. And I think we could probably all agree on the inadequacy of those to satiate our students' curiosity and their information literacy. So the Juice fills this gap. It's a solution because it builds a daily information literacy routine. It is easy to access. You don't need to download anything. It is device agnostic. We are compatible with plenty of LMSs and single sign-on, and it is genuinely fun to use. Students and teachers both really, really, really enjoy it. You don't have to take my word for it. If you go to our site, we have a bunch of case studies in different populations from different parts of the country, and it is a lot of fun. Finally, I would just say, if you want to reach out to me, this is my contact info, but we are now in the WiLS vendor portal, and I would be more than happy to answer any questions that you have for me. You are muted there, Jeff.
I went to hit the mute button and I accidentally hit the weather button, which brought a whole thing up. But
well, I hope it's nice in Wisconsin.
It is nice. Now that I'm unmuted, I'm speechless over here, Chris.
Oh, wow.
I actually had to text Sarah off screen while you were talking to say what a great resource that we've been able to partner with you on. I intentionally hadn't looked because I knew I was going to be seeing this today for the first time, and I'm blown away by how
I'm so
innovative
glad.
and cool this is.
As a
loss for words here.
as a startup, as a guy who spent, almost a decade and a half in public ed and joining a startup, it's a mission-driven company. Everybody wants the same thing, which is better educated, better informed students. There's no agenda here other than that. And, we're a small company, and, sometimes I get a little bit of imposter syndrome because everybody there is pretty accomplished. And but it's really cool to work with people who are so driven by just giving students the facts and, giving students an invaluable resource each day of the week.
Yeah, that's that. If I had any hair, my hair would be blowing back from the power of what I just saw here. So thank you
Cool.
so
I'm
much
so
for
glad.
sharing that with us. And I'm really excited to be partnering with the Juice and with you personally. So thanks so much.
Likewise. Thanks for having me. Yeah. Look forward to working with everybody, with you and with all of your library media specialists across Wisconsin.
Dynamite. Well, folks, you heard it here. The Juice, it is the new hotness here at WiLS. We are excited. I feel too old to use that phrase, but I'm using it anyway. I feel invigorated by the Juice. So thank you so much for joining us, Chris. Thank you to everyone who came to join us here today for Taco Tuesday. Let me throw my screen up one more time. If you have any questions for Chris or for any of our presenters, feel free to reach out. Contact information, you've seen it coming up on screen. It will also be in the follow-up email that follows today's session. If you're watching the recording, contact information will be there for each of our presenters, and you can always reach out to us here at WiLS. Of course, the best way to reach us is our email address, coop, C-O-O-P, @wils.org. Thanks so much again to all of our presenters for being here today. Thank you so much for viewers, people who came live, the folks who are watching the recording. Thank you so much for joining us too. October is a special month. It's got 31 days and it actually has 3 Tuesdays in October. So that's not true. It has 5 Tuesdays, 3 Taco Tuesdays in October, the last of which is coming up in 2 weeks from today on October 31st. For the spookiest of Taco Tuesdays. Join us on Halloween 2023 for another Taco Tuesday, this same place. All right, that's it. That's it for me. Thanks everyone for watching. Thanks for our presenters for joining us. And I hope everybody has a great day. Bye.